giving us this entirely plagiarized speech, apparently.
All right. That's much better than mine.
As an outro.
Yeah, there you go.
Hold this way. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just have a feeling I'm not going to win this contest. I don't know. Didn't feel well when I woke up. Therefore, I'll be reading from my notes today. Reading. You don't mind, I'm sure. It's a better part of my visage. Well, I want to thank Eugene for giving my speech today, which will be on language. First, how many of you, and I know we have so many international members here, but how many of you speak a second language with fluency? Raise your hands, please. Look at that, look at that. Okay, thank you. And I'm not talking today about, and secondly, about simply finding where's the toilet, where's the WC. Some fluency. You wouldn't mind giving a talk in front of a foreign audience? Well, that would be tough. Writing. How many of you speak 3 languages? Thanks, Tim. One of them should be English, Tim. I mean, after all. Okay. Anybody in here speak 4 languages fluently? Well, thanks. All right. 5. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Well, like Tim, I speak 3 languages, and if one of them were English, I think I would have more than 4 trophies over 42 years. I hope that would be true. I hope that would be true. Some years ago, all of my speeches now have to start with some years ago. Some years ago, approximately 60 years ago, I was teaching high school, and I noticed an announcement in the faculty room that said, the Department of Defense is looking for teachers who are willing to go overseas. I applied, was interviewed in English, and was greatly surprised and delighted I was assigned to work in Italy, to teach in a military school in Italy, the Department of Defense school. So I spent the summer listening to Italian records. Is that still the way you learn a language? Putting a 78 on the phonograph and trying to repeat the phrases? I heard this one over and over again. Buongiorno, signorossi. I got to Italy, plane landed in Milan, walked into a coffee shop, and heard, buongiorno, signor. I said, grazie, and walked out. Nothing left to say, and why did I say grazie? It should have been buongiorno, signor, in return. All that work for nothing. Later, I rented an apartment in Livorno, where I was working, that made sense to rent one in the house in the town where I was working. I rented it from an Italian. There's so many Italians in Italy. It's almost hard not to run into one. Anyway, when Signor Venturini found out that I was a teacher, he seemed to be overawed and started to call me professore. Oh, professore. At first I wanted to say, look, in America they say, those who can do, those who can't teach. I'm one of those. Can't do, so I teach. It didn't translate, so he continued to call me professore during the time I was there. And I must say, I came to like the phrase, professore. Well, I would like to hear it one more time before I pass and to the great beyond. Please use the word and say, hello, Roy. Hello, professore. Say it. Professore. 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 Now I can pass away happily. You've heard of dying at the lectern. You're about to witness it. Professore. Professore. So I learned a bit of Italian, enough to converse with Signor Venturini and others. I remember there was a lieutenant in the duplex next to me. His name was Fagioli. And every month when Signor Venturini would come by to collect the rent, I was second, he came in shaking his head. What's wrong? I knew. He said, Fagioli, Italian name. He looks Italian. Fagioli has an Italian name. Doesn't speak a word of Italian. What's wrong with the Italian, what's wrong with the American education system? And was dismounted. Second and third year, I was able to enjoy conversing with Italians that got reasonably better. What I wish now, there was a taverna right on the corner around. I was recently married, and I thought, if I just go to the taverna every night, drink a grappa, I could become really fluent in this language. But I was recently married. I thought that might be bad form. Now, looking back on it, since we divorced slightly after leaving Italy, I wish I had gone to the taverna. It would have been a better use of my time. Well, I want to thank you, Eugene, for demonstrating how difficult it is to learn a second or third language. So, I guess I did get a second chance, and those of you who get second chances, we have to take advantage of them. There might not be a third or a fourth. I was assigned to Germany, where I had another chance to learn the language. So please say goodbye in Italian with me. Arrivederci. All together. Arrivederci. And then later in German, Auf Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen. Seems to be my clue to leave. Auf Wiedersehen. Now off to another duty. All right.
Today, Roy gave a speech from the Advanced Pathways program called Can Stupid People Still Get Ahead? Please give him a warm welcome. Mr. Timer,